residential 5 in the Mirasol subdivision, currently zoned planned residential PRD, and this is BZA case 2022-01. And all those that are here to speak or testify in this matter, please stand, raise your right hand so you can be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Be seated. Okay. Okay, the legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on January 12th, 2022 in the Delaware Gazette and posted at the Genoa Township Hall on January 4th, 2022. An attempt to mail notice of this hearing to property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject property was also made. We're entering into evidence exhibits A through D, which includes the legal notice, the sign-in sheet, the application, and the staff report. And at this time, we will hear from staff.
Thank you, Mark. So as noted in the legal notice, the property address is 6333 Via Florenza Drive, Galena, Ohio.
Can I clarify, excuse me, Susan, can I clarify one thing? Because the script is incorrect. The applicant's and property owner's name should be Joe and Benny Joseph. It just says Joseph. And so I want to just clarify that that's who our applicant is. So
Joseph?
it says Joe and Benny Joseph. It's on the minute, or on the script, it says just Joseph.
You're right.
It's fine. I just want to clarify. That's all. So I apologize for interrupting.
Okay.
There's a couple typos in the script. I'm not going to point them out, but it's January.
Just a guideline.
I get it. There you go. Okay.
Okay. So on August the 31st, 2020, our office issued zoning permit 2020-248 for the construction of the resident at the subject property. On March 15th, 2021, a revision was issued to the original permit for the construction of a accessory building, which is a detached garage. And also the house was shifted a little bit to accommodate, make space for that accessory building. On December 1st of 2021, the Development and Zoning Department received an application for construction of a covered pavilion on the subject property. And our office contacted the builder to obtain a final as-built survey because we had not received that yet, and they had not obtained a final certificate of zoning compliance. So we did receive that final as-built survey, and we did subsequently issue that certificate of zoning compliance. And then staff contacted the applicant who had submitted for the pavilion, which was Simonello's Landscape Design, and informed them that since the applicants already had an accessory building, the code did not allow for 2 accessory buildings on a lot of less than 1 acre. So then we were informed that they were going to go ahead and pursue a variance, and that's where we are now. They subsequently applied for the variance on December 17th. On the application, the applicant did not list the applicable zoning code section, so the variance request would be from section 1609.01 of the Genoa Township Zoning Resolution, and that's the section 1609.01C is the section that says you can only have one accessory building on a lot of less than 1 acre. And also, the Genoa, the definitions section of the code defines a building as anything with a solid roof. So even though it doesn't have 4 walls, it still qualifies as a building. So we sent the application to the police, fire, and maintenance department, and all responded. No one had any concerns or comments. And we did receive a couple phone calls from residents when they saw the sign go up in the neighborhood. But once they were informed of what the application was for, neither had any concerns. Any questions?
Anyone? No? No? Okay, let's hear from the applicant. You guys can sit at the table here or at the podium, whatever works for you. Go ahead.
Initially, Andy from Simonello's was going to present the application, but he can't make it tonight.
So he's left you in the boat by yourself. Enjoy. That's fine.
I'm not quite sure what I need to do here.
No, it's fine.
Joseph is the homeowner, and
I'm representing
Representing
Simonello's.
Oh, you're from Simonello's. Okay, so you're Mr. Joseph, and if you'd give us your name?
My name
please.
is Mary Reese.
Mary Reese? Okay, Mary. So you're going to present the application, I assume? Okay,
I guess.
yeah, okay. Let me just tell you what I tell a lot of applicants,
Okay.
and for the people that are also here in the next case, is I understand walking into this room the first time. I did it a long time ago. This is like, you know, for me, it's like my living room. I'm really comfortable, but I realize you are not. And all we ask you to do is tell us what you want to do, tell us why you want to do it. And we have your application in front of us. You can briefly tell us what you're going to do, and then we may go to questions, we may not. So go ahead and just briefly kind of give us a summary of what you want to do. Or would you prefer that I can ask questions, whatever works?
I can tell you what we're
I was
going
gonna
to.
say she probably designed the project.
Oh.
So she can probably tell you what she's
I
gonna do.
didn't do the initial design, but I did the 3D renderings, so
Okay.
I know what it
Oh, the
looks like.
ones that we have here?
Yes.
Okay.
I have additional snapshots that show you an overall picture of the property. That just gives an encapsulated view.
Mhm.
But I have a couple of other snapshots if anybody would like to, additional copies.
Yeah, if you want to, we can pass them around a little bit.
I got, you guys can have your own.
Sure. Oh, wow, there you go.
And be sure you're talking in the mic, so,
Okay.
because you're recording.
All right. Does
Okay.
Susan need a copy?
So you did the rend,
I did the rendering.
you did the renderings, and,
So we've developed a design that has an outdoor and a patio with a fire pit and an outdoor
Thank you.
kitchen. And they'd like to be able to use their patio on days that are sunny or possibly rainy.
that never happens in Ohio, come on.
And this would give them
Yeah, there's.
some shade
Oh, okay.
and some protection from the elements.
Mhm.
So they would like,
What's the approximate size of the structure?
I believe it's 14 by 14 pavilion.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, I didn't mean to. interrupt.
So it shouldn't block anybody's view. It should enable them to be able to use their space. And it shouldn't
Okay,
increase the value of the property at all.
let me ask Mr. Joseph a couple of questions. What's the approximate distance from is there anyone to the east and the west of you at this time?
There is someone to the west of me.
To the west,
Yes,
okay? Because I noticed you're kind of on a
On a pie
corner.
shape, it's like a
Yeah.
wedge. Yeah, currently there isn't a home on the, but it's enough distance away
Mhm.
that it should look even further than you would think from a
Okay.
visibility standpoint.
And which is kind of the reason we're here. You have a 3-car attached garage, and then you have a 1-car detached garage, is that correct?
Correct.
Is that fairly typical in your neighborhood, or?
No.
No?
This was a outlier in the sense of the additional garage.
Okay, is that something, and I assume the builder built it, or was it built afterwards?
It was built at the same.
Okay,
time.
so it was all done at the
All
same
together.
time? Gotcha, okay. And then you got the bad news when you decided to do a cover for your patio?
Right.
Gotcha, okay.
And I think David reached out to me regarding attaching it to the home, so it doesn't have the variance.
Right,
The problem is, if you look at that backside, it's not on this property picture, but there's a soffit that comes off the back.
You
Oh.
can see it on the,
Oh,
on the
yeah.
home.
So there's a metal roof with a soffit that comes off the back, and you can't really attach it to that back area.
oh, I see, it's like, is there a little bay there, is that what that is?
Yeah, the metal
Okay.
roof there. And initially, they weren't supposed to build that, but because of some drainage issues,
Uh-huh,
it was just supposed to be off that patio door.
okay,
But then they said it was too close to the wall, that there would be drainage issues, so let's just complete it and go all the way across.
okay,
And then we decided, oh, let's build a patio with the pavilion, and
right,
then you're saying, yeah, it would be pretty bad construction damage if we were to take that down and attach it to the home.
yeah, okay, I totally see that. And I see on the rendering here, I can see your detached, oh, is that a detached 1 or 2 car
One
garage?
car.
Just one, okay. Because here it looks a little wider than a normal 2-car, or a 1-car, I mean. Okay. All right, I think I understand what the application is. Anybody have any questions? Oh, I do have another question. I assume there's a homeowners association there?
Correct.
And have they made any comment about the proposal, anything? Are they aware of it?
Have you presented to them?
I haven't. personally, but I don't know.
It
You're
usually
required?
goes through R&H,
Okay.
and they should be aware of the design itself. Because
Okay.
they usually see that before we submit it for,
So they have seen the design for
They
this
have
then?
seen it.
Okay, and they haven't had any comment
had
or
any
issues?
comment.
They
No.
approve it?
Okay,
I'm sorry?
Did they approve it?
They didn't send an official approval, no. But we've been doing a lot of work for them, and
Well,
it's very
I'm president
typical.
of a homeowner, so I kind of know how it works.
Right.
And I would want it approved. Officially, to have it in the minutes, you know?
okay. Because a lot of times too, is the homeowners association will not approve it, or they will maybe approve it, kind of pending approval, send it up here and make us basically make the decision. But I don't want to say yes, and then they turn around and say no as well, so. But it looks to me, just based on the renderings that I see, it looks like it should generally conform to the neighborhood.
Mhm.
I assume this is something that you've done consistently in the past,
Yes.
and that it's nothing atypical for.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
It's-
okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions, any other questions for the applicant? Homeowner? Builder? Go ahead. No? Wow, you guys are easy tonight. Okay,
Well, I mean, it's,
go ahead.
as I say, it's located more to the east, and then,
Is, what,
I mean, I
what-
remember seeing something in these properties in that area, because I know I've seen those configurations before.
oh, I
But that,
see.
you know, the one with it's got a corner up there, and then
And then you've got, yeah, you're
I know
actually
I've seen those,
adjacent to a
yeah,
lawn.
or something for property nearby, but,
It's really nothing in close proximity.
right, I'm saying the pavilion, it's, you know, it's more to the home on the east, to the north, it's
Mhm.
pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
And behind us, all trees. There's a tree.
I was
line
gonna
all the
say,
way.
isn't
Yeah,
there a
I
tree
know, like
line
I said,
there?
I know
Yeah.
those properties aren't.
I think I either
developed yet.
saw that on the overhead, or I've been in there, but it's been a while, and I kind of remember that. Okay. Anything
There
else?
it
Pretty
is.
good.
No? Oh, there you go.
Oh, good.
That's a while ago, huh? Oh, I see, there's the house to the
I
west.
think they've updated them recently, because I saw that 2021 was out there, so,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah, those weren't there when I was in there the last time, so it's been a while. Okay. Then any members of the public have any comment on the application? Okay, we'll dispense with that. No public comment. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into board discussion. We may or may not come back to you for questions. So hang on. But it's not an opportunity that if we're talking about to jump in. So,
Okay.
so I think we just, at this point, are we ready to go into discussion?
I do have one question.
Go ahead, Dave.
The current, the pavers and everything are currently there
No.
today? Okay, so this is all gonna be part of the build? Okay.
So none of it, you haven't begun construction at all, so you're probably looking at next spring then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, none of the stairs or any of that is done in the back. On the front, based on moving in rules, we have to build the staircase in the front of the house and the walkway in the front, that's done.
sure.
But
I
it's-
assume the builder probably did that at the time of
Someone else
construction?
did that,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
okay, it was
yeah,
after.
It's
cons-
part of the whole grand
After the
design, it's in
initial.
stages. It was-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting a professionally landscaped and hardscaped at all
Oh,
of the same,
yeah,
in the same
everything.
plan?
Yeah, all these
Okay.
things that you see in the picture are actually part of the whole
Gotcha,
design.
okay. So it's one big plan overall?
Oh, it's one big plan,
Okay, all right.
financially.
Yeah, really. Save your money. Okay, all right. Anything else? Anybody? Somebody want to run through Duncan versus Middlefield? Because I don't have anything. It's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Teresa, thank
All
you.
right.
All right.
The board reviewed section 307.06 of the zoning resolution reflecting Duncan versus Middlefield as it pertains to the area variance requested from section 1609.01.c to allow for a second accessory building on a lot of less than 1 acre in a planned residential zoning district as follows. The property in question would yield a reasonable return, and there can be beneficial use of the property without the variance, because, I mean, they could still build the patio, it just wouldn't have a shaded seating area. And there's always those little temporary ones that blow away. Yeah.
That end up in the neighbor's yard, which quite honestly.
Oh, yeah, we've had those.
For that, I've never caught one of those in mine, but I'm sure it's, you know, it's bound to happen. But in this case, though, since we stopped, in this case, this, to me, more conforms to that neighborhood, because those are high-end, custom, semi-custom design, better quality homes than, and you don't really see those temporary ones very much. Occasionally you do, but not very often, and that's why I think that this conforms more to the neighborhood than a temporary one
Yeah.
would.
Yeah, it would.
And, yeah, so I think I'll leave it there.
I would say the variance is not substantial, though it, by definition, is an accessory building. It does not have any walls. It's serving a specific purpose.
I think the garage
It's
is more,
well situated.
I think the garage is more of a more non-conforming than this
Yeah.
is,
Absolutely.
you know,
Do
I
they
mean,
need a, well, let me get back to that later. Let me finish Duncan versus Middlefield. Okay.
Yeah,
The
please.
essential character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered, and the adjoining properties would not suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance, because we said that it definitely fits in with the neighborhood. It's not going to block any views. It's not encroaching. It's not obnoxious.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I think it's, frankly, it's an appropriate improvement.
The variance would not adversely affect the delivery of governmental services, and that's per their own comments and review. The property owner did purchase a property with knowledge of the zoning restriction, because it was in effect at the time. The property owner's predicament, I'd say, cannot be feasibly obviated
through a method other than a variance, other than not building it.
Right,
Right,
the
so-
alternative is just not to build a.
Right, so that's why-
A cover, a shelter,
Yeah.
essentially.
The spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice would be done by granting the variance.
See, and
For reasons
this
above,
one,
really.
this G, I just want to make a quick comment, is I think that if the patio cover was up and he came to us for the garage, I think that would be more of an issue than the patio cover is, as far as the variance and conformance. And whether or not to grant a second accessory building. So I think that in this case, it's absolutely merited, so.
Okay,
Okay, anybody want to make a motion to approve?
Which one? The approval.
The approval.
The one that says approval.
oh, I always do that. There it is.
Oh, okay, you want to just do that, Teresa?
No,
since
no,
you're
I
on-
just, I
or-
was looking at this, the
Oh,
continuance,
okay.
I always,
Okay.
Yeah, I know, it's changed a little.
I move to incorporate exhibits, where they?
Well, we're gonna call it, they're actually DE, because we got another page of pictures, so we're gonna call the additional
yeah,
page E.
E.
So we have actually A through E.
A through E,
Correct,
because E will be the photos.
correct.
Okay, got it. Exhibits A through E, as well as the board's findings pertaining to the review of section 307.06 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution into evidence and to approve the requested variance from section 1609.01.c of the Genoa Township zoning resolutions for BZA 2022-01, applications received on December 17th, 2021, to allow for a second accessory building on a lot of less than 1 acre on property known as 7925, how do you say it?
Oh, Marisol?
Division, 6333 via Florenza Drive, Galena, Ohio, 43021, zone planned residential, PRD. This motion is based on the following findings of facts pertinent to section 307.04 of the Genoa Township zoning resolutions, that such variance or modification will not be contrary to public interest because the public, there was really no public input from it. They all
Well, I
agreed.
think it's also because it really is a conforming, it really does
It does
conform to the
conform,
neighborhood.
yeah.
There is conformance, even though there's not compliance.
That owing to this, to special conditions, a literal enforcement of the zoning resolution will result in unnecessarily hardship because it's not really a hardship, because there isn't that much to it. I mean, that it would not be a hardship if it's not built. That approval of such variance or modification thereof is consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution, and substantial justice shall be done thereby because it conforms to the neighborhood. It is just the
That's the,
closing, yeah.
I'm
The-
sorry, where are you?
number 3.
3.
Now, approval of such variance or modification is consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution and substantial justice shall be done. Because really, like I said earlier, the improvement really does conform to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
As opposed to a temporary type cover. And I think this is really because it's a higher end custom house, that really, I think that it's more consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution. And really, it's a patio cover. I mean, I call it a patio cover. I know it's,
permanent, a permanent
right,
patio cover.
it's a permanent structure, and I think it makes sense. So it's kind of a to me, it's a common sense thing. So, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Where are we?
You're
Approval of
down,
the
approval of subject variance.
Variance is subject to the owner's agreement to the following conditions incorporated permit any the board wishes to apply. All required permits, zoning, and otherwise shall be obtained. Pursuant to section 307.11 of the Genoa Township zoning resolutions, the approved variance shall lapse, expire, and be null and void if required zoning permits are not obtained within 1 year of the motion approval. Extensions to this variance may be requested pursuant to sections 307.11.a and b of the Genoa Township zoning resolutions, as may be amended. The Board of Zoning Appeal does grant the Genoa Township zoning inspector authority to extend this variance at their discretion, subject to the deadlines established with section 304.11a of the Genoa Township resolutions, as may be amended.
Okay. Second?
I'll second the motion.
The heavy lifting, thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Questions for the applicant? Anything further? If none, then I'll call the roll. Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Driscoll?
Yes.
Ms. Yu?
Yes.
Mr. Hanson?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Motion carries. The variance is approved. Thank you. And we are adjourned with this at 7:32. Okay, thank you, guys. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. Hey, you did a fantastic job pronouncing my wife's name. She'll appreciate it. Most people don't pronounce it correctly. You said Binny, and
I did.
very rarely they pronounce it correctly.
Really?
They say Biney or.
Oh, no
Yeah,
kidding.
they say-
Oh, well, thank
yeah.
you. Usually I mangle them pretty good here. I've had plenty of practice.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, we will open the public hearing on the next case, which is also an area variance, at 7:33 PM. And I will read the legal notice into the record. Troy Fritz Weaver Custom Homes, on behalf of Steve and Elizabeth Parker, requesting approval of a variance to allow a covered porch to extend into the required 75-foot front yard setback at 9607 Britton Woods Drive, lot 7970 in the Britton Woods subdivision, currently zoned rural residential, RR, and this is BZA case 2022-02. Those that wish to testify in this matter, please stand and raise your right hand. You might as well. I don't charge extra. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Great, thank you. Be seated, and we will start. Oh, hold on, we will not. The legal notice for this hearing was printed and published on January 12, 2022 in the Delaware Gazette and posted in the Genoa Township Hall on January 4th, 2022. An attempt to mail notice of this hearing to property owners contiguous to and across the street from the subject property was also made. We also have exhibits A through D that we are entering into evidence, which includes the legal notice, the sign-in sheet, application, and the staff report dated January 18th, 2022, and we will start with staff.
Thank you, Mark. As noted in the legal notice, the subject property is known as 9607 Britton Woods Drive, Galena, Ohio, 43021. On November 12th, 2019, the Development and Zoning Department received an application for construction of a new single-family residence on the subject lot. The applicant, Troy Fritz Weaver Custom Homes, was notified that the zoning permit could not be issued since the proposed house encroached into the 75-foot front setback. On November 13th, we received a revised site plan, and that showed that the house and the front porch had been moved back to behind the 75-foot front setback line. On November 20th, zoning permit.
Can you say that again, please, Susan?
So when we originally, the original application we received, I believe, showed the front setback at 50 foot. And then when we notified the builder, we received then a new site plan that showed the house at the 75-foot front
Was that-
setback.
The house and the porch, or just the house?
The house and the porch.
Okay, so
So we
the
got
plans
that.
submitted,
So then
Were
we
compliant.
approved, it was compliant, yes.
okay, and then the house was actually built not compliant because of the porch.
Correct.
Okay,
The-
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Right.
So it was compliant with the plans, and then it was not compliant when it was constructed, correct?
So when yes, so the original permit was issued with the house that was compliant on the lot.
Right, when you
And then-
guys issued the permit, it was compliant,
Correct.
okay. And then when it was, the
But
permit's
how it
issued and
complies.
it was constructed, it wasn't compliant, correct?
So, so when for all new builds, we require a final as-built survey, and part of our process to issue a certificate of zoning compliance. So when we received that final as-built survey, it did show that the front porch was slightly encroaching into that front setback, is what Paul has sitting up there. So the house itself is behind the 75-foot
And it's-
setback line.
It's right
but
on the 75.
The covered porch is encroaching into that front setback.
So the front of the house is compliant, but the porch is not.
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure everybody understands where we are here. So, okay, so the survey came back, and you guys said, oh, it's not compliant, and that's how we got here.
Correct.
Okay. I'm trying to, bear with me. I'm slow. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
So the information that was submitted with the application, it doesn't, the site plan doesn't specifically call out how far the porch is encroaching into that front setback. But when the applicant answered question 3 of the Duncan versus Middlefield questions, they did state that it was approximately 3 foot into that front yard setback.
So it's actually not built on the 75-foot setback, it's actually built on at approximately, what, 70 foot?
Well, according to this, it would be around
And according to
72.
that, what did the site survey say? The compliance survey, what did it say? Is that it? That's it, yes.
It doesn't have, that's what I'm
Doesn't say.
saying, it doesn't have that
So
distance
it
called
could
out.
be 8 feet, which I think is the width of the porch, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be 3 feet, or somewhere in between.
I don't know for sure.
No, right, that's why I
The
say
application
it's
says
anywhere
it's 3
between
feet.
8 feet and 3 feet, based on what the application says.
The application says
That
it's
looks
3
like it's
feet.
8.
That's all I have to go on.
Based on that, it says it's 8, correct?
No, the entire porch isn't.
That's what I
Doesn't
mean, it's 8 feet
crossing over.
wide, isn't it?
Is it 8 feet long?
No, it's 8 feet wide.
But the
You're going
entire,
You're going the other direction,
Just
Mark.
wait.
No, I'm, huh?
They're going the other direction.
Which way are we going?
yeah, that.
Right, the width of the porch.
But the entire porch isn't over the setback.
The porch is more than 3 feet wide, isn't it?
Yeah, but she's saying it's 3 feet into the 75-foot.
Oh, I heard that we didn't know what the number
The
is.
application,
The
the applicant says
says
it's
it's
about
3
3
feet.
feet. 3 feet.
Applicant says 3.
Yes.
That,
But we
see,
don't know.
that's my point, is that we don't know if it's 3 or if it's 8.
I don't think it's 8, because it's not the
there's no
entire
measure-
porch.
Because there's no measurements on it.
My point, yes. I think it's the entire porch.
And this is only an issue because the porch is covered?
Correct.
Okay, all right,
Well, an uncovered porch can encroach 10 feet into a required
Right.
front setback.
okay.
Okay, like I said, I'm just trying to
Clarify.
get us all on the same page. So, okay.
No, you made her lose her place.
I have a way of doing
Now I'm
that.
just, are you good now?
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
So we,
I think I understand it. How about that?
the application was submitted to police, fire, and the maintenance department. All departments responded back. No one had any comments or concerns. We received one inquiry on the application. The homeowner just wanted to know what the options were if the variance wasn't approved.
That's understandable. Okay. All right. Is that staff's, does that conclude your report? I don't think I have any other questions. Anyone else? Okay, let's go to the applicant.
I'm Troy Fritz
Ah,
with Weaver Custom Homes. So I can clear up some of your questions. So the porch depth is 8 foot. Okay.
right.
If you look at the as-built survey, the dotted line that where it intersects the left front corner of the porch is right on the corner, so it's compliant. So your question, the right side is the part that, there you go, where he's moving the cursor right now. That is approximately 3 feet over
So
right
it
there.
goes 0 to 3.
Yes, yes, sir. The left side is touching and is compliant.
Okay, so the bottom, which is the left, is compliant, and then because of the way that. the
Yeah,
lot
that
is,
dotted
it's
line
not
represents your
compliant.
setback line, your 75-foot
Gotcha.
setback line.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
that's where I was trying to go.
Good.
What's the length of the porch?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going off of memory here, but I think that we're close. Do you know?
Okay, I thought I saw 40 feet.
38, but I
someplace.
wasn't sure, so yeah, it's
Okay.
40 foot.
All right,
So I would tell you approximately, I don't know, a third of that, maybe 10 foot of the right side would be
okay,
over the setback line.
okay. And how did this occur?
Great question.
I pride myself.
Not on purpose, obviously, but this was the second house construction in there, I think, but it's a good guess. I don't know. A lot pin possibly was off on the right side, which I know that if you look on that site plan, there's an electric transformer over there. So when the utilities were cut into there were property pins disturbed out there on the installation of utilities, which is not uncommon in a new subdivision like this. It
No, I
happens,
understand.
but we could go on for days. There's a lot of things that aren't where they're supposed to be out there, but.
I understand that.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that, so,
A couple times.
yeah, I bet. So, so that's, yeah, it was an honest oversight, if nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's not the entire porch, it's a portion, it's essentially a pie shape of the porch.
That's
It's
fair
Is
explanation,
that-
yeah.
Is that, and so,
It's approximately 60 square feet of the 320 square feet.
right. So that's what,
Not
20%-ish?
What do we say, 10 feet at the widest point? Right.
No.
The
No,
porch,
no, for the encroachment over? It's 3 foot, it is.
3
Okay.
foot. Maybe in
widest point.
a 10-foot width, your widest point's gonna be 3 foot of over.
I gotcha.
encroachment. So 3 foot to
Yeah,
nothing.
I was writing and I heard 10 and, okay.
18.7%.
Okay. I'm not a math major, so I said 20.
You can tell he's
I
an
wasn't that
engineer.
far off. What's that? Okay. All right. So
And
the
it's all
alternative,
because-
alternative is to move that porch back 3 feet.
Or uncover it.
Uncover
I'm just
it.
offering.
Be easier.
I understand, got here when you did. Okay, all,
It's just the portion that's over.
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
all kidding aside,
And say
I
it's a
guess
viable
the
option.
real question, there's a couple of questions that come to mind
Mhm.
for the board. You're probably good. Oh, any members of the public that wish to speak on this? I don't see anybody besides the applicants and the builder here, but I have to ask anyway. So I'm going to go into kind of a modified discussion. We may come back to you in a
That's fine.
second, Troy. Okay. So I guess the real question is, A, is it feasible to make them modify the porch? I don't think it really
No, it isn't.
makes a lot of sense.
No,
A.
it doesn't make sense.
B, does it conform to the neighborhood? My suspicion is, I don't think we have a whole lot of information, but you've got I think it's a 4,000 square foot house-ish. 3,900, is that what I saw?
Approximately,
Okay.
yes, yes, sir.
It looks to me like, based on what's out there and what I know of that area over there, it generally conforms to the neighborhood. I don't know that 3 feet in a 75-foot setback is particularly substantial. Yeah, I don't think it is either. So.
And it's only on one end, it's not over the
Right, and
entire
it's not the
length of
entire
porch.
thing. It, you know, it is potentially, and I'm not gonna answer for the builder, obviously, but it potentially, it almost looks like they tilted it a little too far one way,
It's a fair assessment.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, 3 feet, when you're digging a basement, probably isn't a big thing.
Well, again, I will say that I believe the right property pin was disturbed when they put the electric in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's a swing point when you're doing your setback measurements
Sure.
and so forth.
Sure. Well, is this the normal course to dig and construct and then measure at the end? Or is there another point when it should be measured for the? in
No,
relation to the
we do
easement?
that on the setup. So,
Do ya?
so we do all the measuring in the setup, but this has come about on the as-built, so an after-the-fact survey.
Right.
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 Mhm.
I understand that.
So is
but-
that where you think you're doing it in the right spot all
Oh,
along? and then-
yeah,
then-
absolutely,
right.
yeah. Yep.
Because,
And that's a tricky area.
And again, based on the fact that there was property pins disturbed, where we located it at the day, could very well have been
Yeah.
okay at that point. When you get an engineered survey using GPS locations, that'll prove things to be a little bit different. We would not know that until we're done to the end of the job. At
oh,
this
really?
point,
Is
yeah.
that the normal course of your business?
When we have to do
Because
as-built, yes,
We
sir.
see these occasionally. One of my first cases I ever sat on this board, which is back when they were still using caves, was a situation kind of like this.
Mhm.
But the difference is that there's no adjacent structures. They're not in close proximity to any structure. I don't see.
They're all customs. I mean,
Yeah, they're all custom on large, I mean, what's this, on 2 acres, I think I read?
Yeah.
Um,
3.
so you're not gonna have anyone in close proximity. It looks like, I mean, you could potentially have 1 or 2 houses across the street.
It's been covered this whole time,
Right.
right? The porch.
Yeah, when was the structure completed, the project, the whole project? Roughly.
I'm gonna defer to you guys for that. Okay, it's August.
Oh, so you've been in a year. Oh, 2020, so you've been in about 7, 8 months then?
August.
20, oh, yeah.
It's
sorry.
already almost February. Don't-
Yeah, thanks.
Don't look.
Okay, so you've been in approximately a year and a half, and you guys didn't have any, I guess I'm asking the applicant, nobody had any reason to question this until you went to apply for the permit for the pool, is that correct? And they discovered that there was they never did the completion certificate, is that accurate? An accurate statement? Okay. You stop me if I'm wrong. Because I know you will. You have. You have and you will. Okay. So, and again, I think it complies to the neighborhood. I think that
It does.
it's not, to me, it's not substantial. So, okay. I guess I'll just tee it up for you, Teresa.
All right. The board reviewed section 307.06 of the zoning resolution reflecting Duncan versus Middlefield as it pertains to the area variance requested from section 606.06 to allow for a principal building to encroach into a front setback in a rural residential zoning district as follows. The property in question would yield a reasonable return, and there can be beneficial use of the property without the variance.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I
Okay,
think there would, I mean, conceivably.
It's because it's been there
Right.
and,
It's not practical, but conceivably it could.
right. Variance is not substantial. It's 3 feet into a 75-foot setback,
Right.
which is about 4%. The essential character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered, and the adjoining properties would not suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance, because it's,
Well, there's-
it was constructed with a covered porch and has been there,
Right, and there's no one really to the north,
right?
and there's a distance, I mean, it doesn't even impact the property to the south.
And it's not the entire,
Uh-uh.
it's only a slice of the porch.
Right,
The variance would not adversely affect the delivery of governmental services per their comments, or no comments. The property owner did purchase the property with knowledge of the zoning restriction, and I would definitely say that because they actually thought they were in
they
compliance.
thought they were in
So,
compliance, yeah.
The property owner's predicament cannot be feasibly obviated through a method other than the variance.
No,
Right,
'Cause
for
we're not gonna make them
practical
take out
purpose.
the porch.
Right, yeah.
Can't be.
Just take 3 feet off that one side of the porch and we're fine. Yeah, I mean, I say that kind of.
tongue in cheek.
Yeah, exactly, but realistically, that's.
Well, right, we didn't say it's a viable option, it
It's,
exists
yeah,
as
it's
an
an option,
option.
it's not a, it's really not a practical
I think the
option.
only viable option is to reduce the width of the porch, if that was the case.
Right.
Only the covered
You'd have to
part.
reduce it, well, a portion of it,
The whole
which
thing,
I don't know what it is, 5 feet.
3 foot all
Or,
the way.
yeah, you'd have to take 3 feet of it off, and then but then you lose any utility too, because an 8-foot porch, you can sit on.
Actually, I have one of those porches, so it's not worth having.
I have a 5-foot porch.
I wish my porch was gone.
I do too. I have a
It's too narrow,
5-foot
yeah.
porch that I wish was an 8-foot
Yeah.
porch as well. And we sit out there and trying to get one guy in front of the other is like, you have to be an acrobat. Okay,
Okay, the spirit and intent behind the zoning resolution would be observed and substantial justice would be done by granting the variance. And I would say just, because it was certainly constructed in good faith and thought to be compliant. And,
I would agree.
things move and,
And I think the fact that perhaps the pin was moved, I don't think there was any, I don't think they did it on purpose. I think there was 3 feet.
they weren't trying to
They
sneak in.
could have moved it
Yeah.
back 3 feet if they'd have known, but, they thought they were in compliance, so I would agree with you there. I'm sorry, go ahead and continue.
That's it, that's G.
That's it?
Yep.
You want to make the motion then?
I shall make the motion. Okay. I move to incorporate exhibits A through D, as well as the board's findings pertaining to the review of section 307.06 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution into evidence and to approve the requested variance from section 606.06 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution for BZA 2022-02. Application received December 3rd, 2021, to allow for the principal building to encroach 3 feet into the front setback on property known as Lot 7970 in Brittonwood Subdivision 9607 Brittonwoods Drive, Galena, Ohio, 43021, zoned rural residential. This motion is based on the following findings of fact pursuant to 307.04 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution. That such variance or modification will not be contrary to the public interest because it is basically allowing for the correction of an existing condition. And it is, right, it's not an additional modification to the structure. That owing to special conditions, a literal enforcement of the zoning resolution will result in an unnecessary hardship because it would require them to remove at least a portion of the covered part of the porch or their porch,
Right.
which is
It's
Impractical.
impractical, yeah.
that the approval of such variance or modification thereof is consistent with the spirit of the zoning resolution and substantial justice shall be done thereby because it was constructed in good faith that they thought it was in the correct spot.
compliance,
Yeah, in
right.
compliance. And,
I think
yeah,
you're
I
good.
think it's good, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Approval of subject variance is subject to the owner's agreement to the following conditions. All required permits, zoning or otherwise be obtained.
Yeah, I think we're a little beyond that.
Yeah, well, I mean, and yeah, the permit that they need at this point is for the swimming pool.
Right.
So this is just so that can be received. Pursuant to section 307.11 of the Genoa Township zoning resolution, the approved variance shall lapse, expire, and be null and void ab initio if required zoning permits are not pertained within 1 year of this motion of approval.
I think,
So, yeah, how does
I
that?
don't think that even applies.
Because
I think
they've
it's just a-
technically already been issued.
Right.
So you're supposed to decide which ones you want to apply, so you don't need to apply that one.
Oh,
That one
okay.
doesn't apply.
Got it. I thought
Um,
these were all, okay.
I think the only thing, really the only thing that
Right.
we have to do is allow staff to issue
To-
the certificate of completion, correct? And that, I would,
Okay,
I think that's based on based on approval by the board, allows staff to issue a completion certificate.
do you need to inspect it, or?
I did have a question though, but you're in the middle of your
No,
motion,
go ahead.
so.
No, please.
So since the as-built survey does not have that exact distance on there,
Right.
our suggestion was that we get an updated one that showed the exact distance, so we knew for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you want,
So
do you
if-
want deference up to what, 5 feet, 8 feet?
No, I would just say to whatever
As built?
a revised as-built
Okay,
survey
that's,
says.
yeah, that's fine, as built, the survey as built.
So the condition of,
Our client wants to say.
Oh,
We can provide you an exact measurement on that, that's what you
Okay.
need.
yeah, just provide it to
Yeah,
staff. and-
that's fine. They can update the as-built that you have, so you have that of record. It's
Sure.
not a problem.
Yes,
So that if
that's
it's
good.
3 point,
If it's 3 feet 6 inches, it'll show 3
Right,
feet
I don't
6.
want to see you
and then
again
you
if
don't
it's
have
3,
to come
6.
back.
I want to see you getting none of these.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother lie. No, I understand. That may not be as much fun. Okay, but yeah, I'm fine up to 5 feet. I mean,
I would just say per.
or whatever the survey is. That's
Okay,
fine.
so-
Yeah, that's fine.
so approval of the variance is subject to the owner's agreement to providing an updated as-built,
Survey
And
with the
the-
exact,
and the variance is for whatever the exact encroachment is, should it be more or even less than 3 feet here?
correct,
Okay,
yes.
and we have no other conditions then?
No,
All right,
okay.
I'm
And
done.
I'm going to second your motion. Okay, discussion, anybody? Dorothy, Dave? No? Paul? No? Okay, then I'm going to call a vote. Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Driscoll?
Yes.
Mr. Hanson?
Yes?
Ms. Yu?
yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion is approved. Oh, I was the second. No, that's fine. Okay, motion's approved. The variance is approved. And good luck with your swimming pool. Don't forget to invite us to the pool party. Have the, yeah, there you go. We'll come hang out on the porch and then take a
Hang on the
dip.
board, the covered board.
Okay, so that hearing is adjourned at 7:58. Okay, and on that note, I don't believe there's any other additional items that we need to address,
I
but,
have one.
sure, go ahead, Dave.
Susan, are we able to revise this strip to where, can we put the continuance down at the bottom since that's the one that we never use?
Yeah.
Also put the approval to the top?
That's a good idea. Maybe, you know, it might be
How many times have I read the
appropriate,
denied one?
because I did see a couple things tonight. Maybe go through and kind of proofread it a little bit. Because I know, you know, with the year changeover and everything, I know, because I have the same problem.
Because
with
every
my stuff.
time one of us starts reading into this.
It goes to the wrong one.
We start
I
reading
go to
the
the
wrong
continuous
one.
every time.
Yes, I agree. And yeah, because we don't hardly ever use that one. And the same with the denial.
Right.
I mean, I've seen that a couple
Well,
of times.
you know, the other
but
thing is
not
too,
lately.
Paul, is it possible, does the approval and denial read the same?
Just says deny.
Why can't we put approval
Approved.
slash
I think that's what it-
denial in one line?
I think that's what it used to say, actually.
So the whole purpose of the script is just to give you guys a guideline so
I
that when
know.
you're,
I
when you're
understand.
going through the meeting, you just have,
I understand,
know.
but when you start reading it, you hit that continuance
You do
every
that
time and you
first.
start
I question
reading
it,
that.
you question it, yeah. You want to start using it.
I'm just trying to make it easy.
We can just put it, reverse it, that's all.
that's what it's supposed to do, make it easy for you.
Well, so, yeah, the denial one just doesn't have the Duncan versus Middlefield questions.
Yeah, the reason we had the denial on there is if you vote to not approve the approval, we would like it to also read the denial and have that be an affirmative vote on the denial, just to
Right.
make sure everything's all
And
clean.
we haven't done a
weighed together,
denial in
so.
a long time, but that's exactly what we have done in the past, is you basically go through Duncan versus Middlefield, you make a motion to deny based on the finding of fact.
I'm not saying
Which is
remove it,
fine.
I'm saying put approval or denial.
Just put it all in one.
Yeah, and
So-
then you can shorten this whole.
Yeah, so the reason it's set up that way, the Roberts Rules of Procedure
Oh, gotcha.
states that you should do the motion with the affirmative, so you should do the approval motion and then have the majority no votes on that. And then we like, just as staff, to be able to make sure it's nice and clear, to go ahead and do the denial motion also,
That's
and then
fine.
just have the majority votes on the
That's fine, and
denial
just put the
motion also. So you
continuance
just have
at
to
the
do both
end.
motions anyway.
Put the continuance at the end, and I'm
Yeah, I'm
totally
fine with
fine.
approval and denial being
Yeah,
separate.
Just put
yeah,
approval,
continuance.
denial, and then continuance. Because we used the times I think we've done continuances, I've made the motion. So, and I don't really need any help to do that. So, okay, so anything else? Nothing? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 8:02.
Second.
Motion seconded by Dorothy. Who, first, Dave? Who was first? I guess I was.
You made it.
Oh, okay, I did. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we are adjourned at 8:02.